Yeah. I guess there are a few of us here, so I'll just get started. But yeah, um, okay, a very good evening, good afternoon, good day to everyone here. Um, actually, this wasn't planned. I'm sure, as you guys know, the FIA didn't give us. There are a few of us. Hey, there are a few of us here, so okay. I guess there are a few of us here, so I'll just get started. But yeah, um, okay, a very good evening, good afternoon, good day to everyone here. Um, actually, this wasn't planned. I'm sure, as you guys know, the FIA didn't give us enough time to plan this, but as demand requires, we have to be here. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. This lovely Friday. Um, as we head into more action, um, or rather more track action. So Baku, fourth round out of 23. Different formats, a format we've not seen before. You know, I personally want to get everyone's. I personally want to hear everyone's thought on the format because, for me personally, I have I'm in the middle. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it. Which I'll go into a bit later on. A lot of things have happened over the break. I'll start with France. Is it Frank or France? What's that man's name? France Toss leaving. You know, and then after 18 years in the sport, which is quite a long time. So when they gave birth to 18 years ago, it's already a big boy, a big girl. But yeah, um, Lauren Mix from Ferrari replacing him. I can't remember who I was telling, but I think maybe it was Imade because I was when Vassar came in at the beginning of the year. I think I told him that there's no way Lauren Mix is going to be remain in Ferrari, and I think that has come to pass in the sense that he's leaving to go and be the team principal for Alpha Tauri. And then AlphaTauri also making some management changes. They will now have a CEO. I've forgotten the guy's name again, but I think he's coming from the FIA also. So it's someone who is familiar with motorsport and with Formula One very well. Um, what else again? What else happened over the winter? Aha, Mercedes. Um, the switch of roles. What's his name again? James Allison and Mike Elliott. Both employees of Mercedes swapping roles. Putting James Allison in a more in contact role with the development of the car. And then uh, making Mike oversee the other things, I believe. So yeah, let's say for Mercedes fans, I don't know if this is a sign. If you can take this as a positive, what do you call, as a positive sign for changes to come in the future. Because for those of us that have watched this sport for a long time, James has won championships. Multiple championships. So he's a man with vast experience. And hopefully he can implement his skills and knowledge, you know, into the W14, and there will be improvements, for my sister Daniela to praise the Lord. But yeah, Red Bull, nothing going on, nothing going on. What happened to Red Bull over the winter? I can't, I don't know. Anyway, they just have the pace. Red Bull, I think Red Bull is just pace, as we can see. I'm going to come into qualifying. I'm just trying to go through everything that's happened over the break. Um, Max, anything happened to Max? No, nothing. Ferrari. Okay, yeah, Leclerc. Over the break, Leclerc said some fans were coming to his house in Monaco. Some they go as far as camping under the staircase and waiting for him to come out, and then rushing to take picture with him. You know, I don't know what's wrong with we human beings sometimes. Those of us, let me even say, at the end of the day, we are all one. Those of us that are doing those things, don't we have jobs? You don't have normal. You don't have like. You just go to somebody's house and go and be camping there. Like you carry blanket, you carry some are even carrying toothbrush, toothpaste. They are carrying essentials. Like say they are going for hiking and camping. Because you want to see your favorite celeb. We human beings, we need to stop doing all these freaky things. I beg. You understand? Don't make people run away from you. And please, if we have such people in our life, let's tell them that they need to stop all these things. Because people tend to feel uncomfortable. Ah, anyway. At the end of the day, on the other hand, for Charles, is what you signed up for. You know, success is not easy. Success comes with fame, and with fame comes pressure, and with pressure comes um well, with pressure comes everything that comes. Yeah, but the main thing now for Charles is that regardless of the fans, I'm sure if Charles if he even wants more fans to even come, he should go and win champion. He should just not fuck up tomorrow. One, two, he should be aiming for a championship. But yeah. Um Science. Okay. There's been rumors that he's been prepped to go to what they call it, Audi. The German team for 2026. The Androsado has him at the top of the list, which I kind of find very interesting. Because Science is a driver that, well, I say, fluctuates. He sometimes gives these low current vibes. You understand, and then when there's a bit of pressure, it just picks up the pace. But I don't know, but 2026 is still far. And then with also rumors that Ferrari are looking to ask him, it will be. Anyway, one thing about Sainz is that all the time in F1, every team he has gone to, they're always looking to drive him after a couple of years. It's not right. You know, you should not do pundit work, Sha. Yeah, but moving on, McLaren, they said they were going to bring upgrades, and then when I say coming into this weekend, we've seen the effect of the upgrades. I think now the main thing now for those McLaren drivers is just to get to the checkered flag with the upgrades, and score possible points where needed. Alpha Romero Bottas. Yeah, Bottas won you, Joe. Joe, nothing too serious other than modeling for Dior over the um over the break, while Bottas was on the hunt to purchase a circuit. As some of us know here, Bottas is a part-time F1 driver. Well, more full-time, semi-full-time businessman. So he's looking to purchase a circuit in Finland. As well as some of us know here, he sells tickets. He does hospitality packages and all those many things. So, and his own prices are quite cheap. So if you are looking to go for a race, you just check Bottas' page or the link in his bio. You will get more information there. But yeah, well. I think that's basically all I could recap from the what do you call it? Okay, sorry. Alpine. Yeah, Otmar. Sorry. Otmar also made a very big statement over the break. That him and his French counterparts are looking to secure P2 in the constructors, which for a second I had to when I read that I was like, is this guy sure? Is he okay? But it seems that he feels he knows what he's saying, but unfortunately, I don't know the upgrade they brought today, the thing caught fire. Whether they did not test it well. Don't know how the thing will be catching fire. How many laps it just caught fire? But okay. Yeah, let's just go into this weekend. So into this weekend, Red Bull, as I said, pace everywhere. Max being Max. Perez in the what do you call it? In the qualifying lap, he said he didn't put in a good lap. But I personally did not think Perez there was anything to extract again from his lap, because I watched his onboard. I didn't necessarily see anything that could be extracted in the lap, but at the end of it, that's just my opinion. He's the driver. I'm a fan. So yeah, Mercedes is quite unfortunate. Well, I say Mercedes. I don't want to say it's quite unfortunate because they've just had only one practice session to what do you call it, to set up the car. But at the end of the day, everyone has the same one practice session. So it's who knows what they are doing. That's just my own understanding and my own opinion. You understand? Because I'm sure when they announced this thing, you guys would have done some. These people are collecting serious money, so you guys would have done some altercations, calculations, or many. Those of you that are engineers, imagine you know what I'm talking about. They would have done a lot of all these simulations. Yeah, simulations is the word. On knowing what setup or what they want to come and do in Baku. We saw that the car is suffering from serious drag. Rear wing. I don't understand the rear wing that they brought. I don't understand. But as I say, I'm not an engineer. I just observe. So maybe those of us that are engineers, you can expatiate on what Alison and Elliot are working on at the moment. But yeah, unfortunately, George Russell, shabby lap from him. Very shabby lap. But I found it very interesting when I don't know if anyone listened to what Caron said today that he felt Hamilton should have. Is he backed out so that you would have not given what's his name, Piastri the toe? I'm not understanding all these commentators. What is it that sometimes they forget that they are on air and just say it as it is? you know. But yeah, Alpha Tauri, huh, big improvement, big improvement. I think this Alpha Tauri, this is the biggest improvement they've made since 2021 because this is the first time I'm seeing an Alpha Tauri. Sonoda, where did Sonoda finish in practice or qualifying? P8, I believe practice he finished. Where did he finish again? Sonoda. Okay, P14, but the Nick DeFries finished P6, So this, I believe this improvement, this is their biggest improvement since 2021. I don't care what happened last season. This is the biggest since 2021. But yeah, we could see some. I don't know. I can't say whether it's track specific, whether this improvement is track specific. As the season goes on, we will know. But we saw the Formula E champion Nick De Vries, P6. Me, I thought that he'll be able to carry that same energy into the qualifying, but I think this is one thing I understand about this sport is that there is a fine margin. You have to know when to commit and when not to commit. You know that's turn three. Sorry, I said yeah. Turn three. That Baku, that long straight. I think one thing many drivers always forget is that sometimes many drivers forget that straight, in as much as it's long, because you are on that 300 kilometer 300 kph per hour, you get to the end very quickly, and many drivers on that when they're on that long straight, they tend to miss their braking point, hence why they end up in the wall. You understand? But for Nick, I think it's one of those things. As I said, someone's on said we should give him 10 races. So I believe until Silverstone, we will know whether his quality is whether he's suitable to drive car. 10 races. As I said, is because he's learning manual transmission. You should give him 10 races. Okay, no problem. That's by the way. Alpine, in as much as they promised us upgrades, the car caught fire. They reverted back to their I believe they reverted back to the previous what do you call it? For gas, they reverted back to the previous parts that they had. And then Pierre put it in the wall, which is quite unfortunate for Pierre. But yeah, I think I've spoken a lot. I'm sorry guys, but I'll now hand over to the rest of y'all. Let everyone share their thoughts and let the cooking begin, But co-host, do you want to say anything?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, not really, nothing for now.
All right, boss. Okay. Let's have Okay, I see hands up. Okay, let's have Honorable Odunwaya. Then we'll have Mo, uh, KO, and then Daniela, and then we'll just go on like that. Thank you, everyone.
Yo, good evening, guys. First of all, I would circle back to the questions you asked us at the beginning. How we feel about the sprint weekend. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big fan of the sprint weekend. I think like F1 as a competition. I don't know who is going to end on pole. Seem to get for three additions for the soft tires. So it's some sort of like unnecessary addition to Formula One because it's not something that anyone is looking forward to. Okay, me personally, I don't know about everybody. It's not a weekend that anyone that I am looking forward to. So I'm not a big fan of the sprint weekend. Then For oh man, it was another question you asked. For Red Bull, our pace is there basically, and I want to talk about Charles Leclerc, man. I would never doubt him to get pole at Baku. Like I would never, because I don't know. There's some sort, since the time he told himself that he was stupid at Baku. Since then, there's some sort of God that is following him. Like when he has like one lap to show himself. So tomorrow morning in the sprint shootout, we know who is going to end on pole. So yeah, that's what I want to say for now.
Thank you very much, Ore. Okay, let's have more.
Okay. Hi, F1 fans. I hope you had a good return to the sport uh, after I don't know what that was. I would like to comment about that break. They need to be more organized. I think that was a big mistake. Then, two, today has confirmed that practice is important. I don't know what the sport is trying to do. Like this is like telling Usain Bolt to run without a warm up. I mean, you need these things. It's like telling the footballers to show up to the pitch and you tie their feet, you tie their arms, and you tell them not to practice the week, and then you expect them to come and run for 90 minutes. The sport may try to introduce excitement, but entertainment should be a byproduct of the sport and not vice versa. The engineers need to set up these cars. I really hate the idea that they're trying to take away practice to create drama. It's unfortunate. Somebody's going to get killed on these circuits and it won't be funny. Three, Dan follows. I think it was from a post with the news. And I must say, you have very good news. So your channel has good news. Dan Fallow's saying that they are going to have a spec series by 2025 because the regulations don't allow for innovation. I find that very, very unfortunate. I think this sport should decide on what they want to do. If it's about innovation and sport and technology, they should scrap the cost cap, forget about the cost cap. Let the people who have their billions buy into this sport and let guys compete. I mean, I like what Aston Martin has done. The man is a billionaire. He brought his money, he's built a fresh factory. He's told the team after 3 years, I want a turnaround. And they've gone and done it. This business of trying to keep Williams and Alpha Tauri and I don't know, Haas MoneyGram. If they are broke, they should leave the sport. Let the Andretti's come in and fund the sport and make it very competitive. And let everybody have what they need, the best equipment, the best factory, the best employees, and let people throw money at the investment. And then the last one, so I don't stay for long, is um, is Mercedes. I hope the team. I hope they can really recover. I really hope they can recover because we need. Uh, I need a team to bring the competition to Red Bull, and I feel that the team that is really ready to fire on all fronts would be Mercedes. Ferrari is going to undergo some growth. I don't think they will be able to fire at all cylinders right now. Probably Vassar will give them a chance. And I think they're working towards that. And Aston Martin, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We need a team that is 2 feet in and ready to fight. So I hope my man Allison can make a W11 clone. Maybe even if it's just 2 races, it would be very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mo. Um, I think you made a point um about the sports being, it should entertainment should be by factor. I well, I say I want to agree with your point, and can I also point out that this, in as much as at the end of the day, I'm not discriminating on any country or whatever, but I think there's this thing with Americans coming into European sports and buying into European sports and coming to, well, I say, change the model or change the format that brings about the excitement that we all enjoy, because we see that in football, we've seen Chelsea, we've seen even Man you see all sorts of clubs. You see now we have that in Formula One. Yeah, if you are the truth of the matter is that this format, this Baku format, I have a feeling that this has always been in the works, but they just, I'm sure they just didn't want to say it probably earlier, beginning of the season, because they didn't know how a lot of people will react to it. So you don't want to, well, let's say you don't want to say something, you don't then get a bad reaction, then now reverse the action. So hence probably why they say, okay, let's just try it in what do you call it, in Baku. At the end of the day, if anyone on at the end of the day, it's all about the numbers. You understand? Free practice 1, 2 does not necessarily bring the TV numbers for these companies and their sponsors. Hence why I feel they've cut. Okay, they are like, okay, let's just have one um, session of practice and then we just have qualifying, because those are where the numbers are. Those are what people watch basically. So I personally don't like this Americanization of European sports, in the sense that everyone that they are more concerned about the numbers than the value of the sport per se, But at the end of the day, it's just my take. Okay, sorry to KO and Daniela. I know we have entered a different topic, but Imade,
No,
please
no,
go.
they can go ahead. You can go ahead and talk.
Okay, no problems. Okay. Um, K, I believe KO was next.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be back. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay. I know I'm not the only one in thinking today is a very great day for all of us, seeing drivers back on track after I think almost a month or so without any action. My first point was about the new format, but already Mo has explained it much more better than I can do. So I'll move on to the teams. Moving on, I would like to start with Ferrari. Today, I was very happy seeing Leclerc on top of the timing sheet again, as it should be, considering how he's been faring from the beginning of the season with everything he did last season. In my own personal opinion, I think that was not like he's not going to feel good about it because it's very draining in a way. And at a time, if it, to say that situation would persist, Leclerc must start to get a lack of confidence, which will in turn affect his driving. So it's a good thing to see a Ferrari back on top, and also a good thing to see another team ahead of Red Bull for once. Going over to Mercedes, Mercedes this week, my hope was maybe Mercedes would be able to fight Aston Martin or maybe even be ahead of them and taking the fight to Red Bull. But still going on, considering Lewis's what would I call it? His starting position on the grid. I think Lewis is someone who can move up from that position and maybe even in a way try and make the impossible happen. It's possible. It has happened before.
Aw, shucks.
Alpine, I think it's sorry. I'm not supposed to skip Red Bull, but considering how things are going, I'll just say Red Bull is just going on par the way it's supposed to be, so we can skip that. Moving over to Alpine, uh, it's very it's very disappointing seeing what happened to Gasly, even though it happened through no fault of his own at the beginning, but his crash later was very costly for Alpine, considering they wouldn't have enough time to gather, data from all the cars, from both cars to see the performance and make, setup adjustments and all. So it's a very bad thing, but I'm sure Pierre will bounce back in the race. So we'll just wait and see about that. Moving on, my next point is about Sonoda and the Vries, the battle they've been having. I've been having this argument with someone on the TL, but admin, I have to thank you. You've already made my point. Exactly what I wanted to say was what you said. So I think I'll just stop for now and say thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, KO. Okay, let's have Daniela, then we'll have Imadi.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be back. Talking to everyone and how good to have the race back. I want to agree with what Mo said earlier. I've missed all the cooking. I've missed all the jokes. Honestly, this has been a really long wait. And I agree with what Mo said specifically about the break because so much happened after Australia that was so exciting and so good. And had there been a race, in maybe if we only took a week or even at most 2 weeks and still came back, that would have been better. To capitalize on the excitement, especially at the start of a new season. So I think that this break is not really it's too early in the season to have such a large break. Especially now we're going into 5 weeks or 6 weeks with 5 races in a row. That's a lot for the teams. In a sport that where people are talking about mental health and people's capacity, and that's a lot of pressure. Whereas there were all these weeks available where they could have if we could have 2 races back to back, a break, and then 3 in a row. That would have been better, I think, for all the teams to manage. So I definitely think that the break shouldn't be this big. In terms of the sprint race coming to this thing, it's so interesting because if anybody remembers Brazil 2021, the sprint in that made it so exciting because it had an impact on the race. I think when you take away the impact of the sprint to have when you take away the impact of the sprint on the race, as in people are not able to use it to move up from quali, I believe is what used to happen. It's kind of like, oh, we're just having a 1 kilometer race before the race, and it doesn't really make sense. And I agree that you need to have practice, as Brother Dave Reese have shown us. Um, is practice is key and important. And I definitely think, and I think the reason why they're having problem is that the only way for the fans to accept the sprint is going to only work with a 4-day week where they have FP1, FP2 on the first day. Then you do the sprint quali and the sprint race. You do quali, and like you need an extra day. Basically, I was just looking at how you could still have more practice but still do the race thing, and you need an extra day, which is why they sacrificed and had quali today. And I agree that on certain tracks where there are circuits where speeds are getting faster, where we see each year we go to new tracks, the time that's being set is getting faster and faster. It's really important that the drivers and the teams have time to practice and go around the track. In terms of today, obviously Charles Leclerc being on pole, if as a Mercedes fan, obviously that's good for us because it means that Red Bull isn't getting the point. But also Ferrari, it's nice to see that they are. This is like a significant improvement for them. Charles hasn't always had the best of times in Baku, so we'll see how it goes. Nothing to say on Red Bull for me. Obviously, they are there. That's what we have to. That's what we have to contend with. Lewis being P5. Definitely, I definitely wasn't of the. A lot of no one was talking about it on Twitter earlier. Like, no, the idea that a lot of Mercedes fans were expecting that, oh, we'll just come in, we'll put on pole or we'll be, somewhere in the top three, was very hard. And even Toto was trying to manage expectations. So P5 is I definitely saw us like third row. It's unfortunate that George Russell was doing shabby things up and down the paddock. He was not able to make it out of Q2 into Q3. So that's a getting knocked out. That's a disadvantage to us. But we'll see what he can do in terms of coming through the pack. and maybe join Lewis. And the only thing I want to say for now is Yuki Tsunoda and Dick DeVries. That's the agenda I really want to cook in particular, because now we are here, race number 5. I know that people are saying 10 races, but
Enough of us are here. So let's just carry on. Daniela, sorry about that.
no problem. Not sure where we left off, but I just briefly. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I just briefly talked about the break being too long. Them realizing that the only way they can introduce a sprint is a 4-day week, and that would make an extra day would be expensive TV license. So they need to figure out a different format. But this format is definitely not it. I think there's nothing wrong with the old format. They should definitely stick to that because of its own. Like I mentioned, Brazil 2021, it will make the race exciting when it has an impact, when drivers can use the race to move up, or use a sprint to gain more positions after quali. Spoke on Lewis being P5, and actually just want to add that someone posted a graphic of the top speeds in relation to the fastest laps from free practice 1 as we've gone into this sprint qualifying and for the Grand Prix qualifying, and Mercedes had the slowest car. Actually, that's not a good thing, but Lewis being able to qualify P5 at their fastest lap out of all the rest of the teams, this is including Haas, which is like making me a bit worried, but is it's a credit to Lewis, but definitely the team. Obviously, I don't know if anybody has seen, he posted he's working late. Everybody else has gone home. It's just there's plenty headphone that Toto broke last year at Abu Dhabi, and people, and Lewis is just there still burning the midnight oil. So hopefully there's definitely a determination from the team. I agree with Mo to get back and get into the challenge race, and who knows, at some point there might be a 3-way Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, who knows. Read one, why are you laughing? Read one. Just because I've missed you does not mean you can be laughing at me. Please don't be using your laugh emoji. Finally, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I just talked about DeVries. DeVries being please, somebody should call EFCC, FBI, MI6. They need to do a joint interagency task force. Because no, there's a difference.
Fraud
Let me tell you, a
champion.
champion of fraudster. See, that there's a difference between a scam and a fraudster. A scam is a petty crime. It's a misdemeanor. But a fraud is a felony offense.
Fraudstable.
I'm like, as I was saying that before, I think that's when I broke up. This is a sport. As a rookie, you just walking quietly. Look at Sargent, even Piastri, who came with a bit of drama. Still, when he entered in quietly. The risk was throwing words like maturity. Now look at where we are. You are into the barrier. And he did not even qualify P20. Oh. He qualified NC, not completed. He did not finish one lap. No time, no time set. We can't even say he qualified P20. And look at me that.
He even broke the infrastructure.
A
Hey,
car that you don't have money to fix, they want to sell your team. Your team principal is leaving. They are replacing him, and you are breaking the car. You are crashing it. You want to crash out of F1. You want to go back to Formula E. Just say so. As admin properly says about the reason, that's why there's a reason why Toto didn't put him inside the motor, and I completely agree. So that's my DeVries agenda. This is race number 5. Here we are. This was the original benchmark as a champion, but they said we should increase it to 10, so we'll see what's going to happen. And also, lastly, Gunter, as you know, as when we talk about the cost cap, I'm like, if the cost cap is exist, then it should. If we are saying that there's no cost cap, that one I don't care about the lower teams. But if we are caring about the lower teams during this cost cap era, I've been like, oh, look at how they have been making improvements, Maligram, but this past break, Gunter has been saying some crazy things. He has been finding Lewis Hamilton's name in his mouth. Sir, look at what happened to your car. Instead of you to focus on your car. Focus on your car, sir. You are here, you are talking about a 7. Haas does not have constructors championship. You don't have drivers championship. Even race win, I don't think you have. Haas. And you are here talking about a 103 race winner. A 7-time world champion. Oh. Gunther, and then do you see what happened? Magnussen's car, just mysteriously Haas out. Me, I you know people say it's not prayer, Daniela. It's no, don't bring back. I say God is good. That's all I have to say. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Rejoice with those who are rejoicing. That's what they said we should do. But has so me, I'm also watching them with one eye. If this kind of behavior continues, then please, this I will not be supporting them because how Gunther, just because you drive to survive, you became small celebrity. So you are now raising shoulder. Please, 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 everybody should stay in their lane.
Doesn't C see his fellow
Hey,
70-year-olds?
somebody that's always calling Jean. Somebody, Jean, I'm sure he has Jean on speed dial. In fact, Jean is his favorite contact, not even his wife or family members. Eh, Gunther. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I missed everybody. The break was too long. I'm looking forward to these next races. Yeah, it should be exciting. Thank you, admin.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Um, okay, so in terms of the break here, I think what happened after Australia originally was that there was meant to be China, which was meant to be 2 weeks after. Was it 2 weeks or a week after Australia? But that didn't happen because of COVID, and they decided not to fill in the slots with any of the any of the what do you call them circuits. You had Portimao, you had that circuit was, I think it was only Portimao that was um available or that was willing to host, and which F1 declined. So um I think it's just very what do you call it? It's just very unfortunate we had that long break. But yeah. What, Daniela, you said something again. I'm trying to remember. You made a point, but maybe if I remember, I'll come back to it. But yeah, let's have Imade, please.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I actually wanted to respond to what the tweet. I'm actually a fan of the sprint. It's not like I like it, but quote and unquote, I'm a fan of it because over the years, the regular programming has become boring or monotonous, and at least there should be something to spice it up. In the era of Mercedes dominating, now is Red Bull dominating. It's just one person or one car, one team dominating always in front. So if there was a way to spice it up, then I think from Lawon fans, we want the entertainment. Yes, we don't want it over safety, but we ultimately want that entertainment. So we should welcome it, and they tried it last year. We didn't like the format. They've tweaked the format again to sort of what majority wanted. So let it run its course, and then we can probably complain towards the ending of the season. So um what's the word now? It's failing me, but the way it's being run now, I kind of like it because it
Format.
causes this format exactly. It gives a whole lot of chances for jeopardy. And the only thing I would say is maybe they increase the 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes. That could give them extra time for practice. But overall, we are seeing more the cars are being run in anger much more times than we normally see on a race weekend. And I'm a fan of that. Then secondly, what I wanted to say is Mo said something about if they should about innovation. I agree about that, but people they should allow the big teams come in, and the small teams who don't have the money to compete, they should probably leave the sport. But even the big teams that want to come, they're not allowing them. Andretti has been knocking on the door for how many years now? And it's rumored that the major proponent that is blocking him is Toto Wolff. There are other people, but at least Toto Wolff seems to be the person leading the blockage. And Ferrari is also a an example, a very perfect example of all the money cannot buy success because before Liberty came in to sort of start cutting down how Ferrari gets the legacy funds and all that, they've always gotten much more than others when they were not even winning anything. So Ferrari is a perfect example of all the money does not buy success. So getting all the big teams to come in or all the rich guys to come in and try and use that to innovate using Stroll as an example. Stroll is sort of a ruthless businessman. So from my own point of view, I'll say Stroll is an outlier. He's working right now, but it has still not even worked because 100, honestly, we really don't know Stroll. We don't know Aston Martin's pecking order. They've clearly improved their car seriously. They've jumped lots of cars that they were behind last year, but we still really don't know their pecking order. So ultimately, it hasn't worked because they haven't won a championship yet. They might not win any because, but at least they've pushed to the front of the grid. So for that part, I kind of disagree with it. And then the how is if we allow also one thing is if we allow all the rich guys, all the rich companies to come in and buy the smaller teams, then how is the sport actually sustainable? We are the fans that are complaining that ticket prices are very expensive and the average fan can barely afford it. So if all the rich guys come in, then that's going to trickle down to ticket prices. How the regular fan who has been watching for X amount of years, how is he or she going to be able to afford it? So the only thing I actually wanted to add that came up during the break as well is the F1 Academy. I think F1 F we know the FIA and FOM are all business oriented and all want to get money, but they decided to set up an F1 Academy for the girls. They should give them visibility. How do you set up something for visibility to the sport and you're not making their races live? It makes no sense for me because how do potential investors see the talent these girls potentially have and actually sponsor them into F3 and F4, F2 if possible? So from my own point of view, you're going to condense maybe a 45 minutes race to a 7 minute highlight clip. It makes no sense. A whole lot of things happen. We could see potential from these girls. I think they're 21 or 20 in number. I'm not sure. Maybe someone can correct me. And let us have it live. Even if you're not going to air it on any TV station, at least air it on your F1 TV app. That is why you were paid this monthly subscription to be able to watch it. Then air it there, let everyone see it. And then you won't get more subscription to watch them if somebody is only interested in development of these drivers. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. I was going to say, even YouTube self, don't they show F4 on YouTube? So YouTube self is that one is free. All you don't need to do is set camera, and at the end of the day, their camera. I cannot just understand the
They don't want to spend money on air
on
on transmitting it live because the
this.
cameras are there. They are going to be showing the highlights. So what else? They just don't want to spend money on transmitting it live. That's all.
Oh well, God help us all. But yeah, okay, let's have more. Then okay, sorry. Anabango, are you going to say something?
Oh, no, no, no. I think Imadi has kind of touched a little bit of what I wanted to say. So now.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, let's hear from Mo and then Daniela, please. Oh, sorry, Miss Catrock. Sorry, were you going to say something as well?
Hi, everybody. I miss you guys. How is everyone going? I'm so happy for it to be back and there's no more long breaks. I'm happy that we outqualified Aston Martin with the bullet. So, yeah, I'm a happy girl today. Even with this high speed, what is it? Low downforce track. The truck. Still came fifth. I'm a happy girl.
Well, Miss Catrock, you can't complain. You just have to count your blessings one by one and hope they multiply.
Look at God. Look at God. Hey!
Amen. Oh, amen.
Hallelujah!
Oh.
Let's have more, please. Thank you.
Daniela and Miss Catrox, I think we need a day out. Our own space. Anyway, I was going to say the part about the money is I think you saw James Wolves. He said something about the fact that Williams, as it is, there's just some basic infrastructure they don't even have. Who knows? Maybe it's like software or just like wheel guns or like maybe the latest, computer systems. So, I mean, it's very disappointing to hear that you have like three teams which have everything they need, and then the rest of the seven teams are kind of competing with them blindly. So that's why I say let's allow people who have money to come and have the basics for everything. That's like saying we are competing with a village team and Manchester. I mean, the guys have no gym, they have no kit, they have no shoes, and then they show up and you're busy trying to make a game changer with Manchester. You won't make it. So somehow if you're already on an unleveled platform, then that's when people begin to make such comments as, is it really the pinnacle of motorsport? Is it really the 20 best drivers? Is everybody getting an opportunity? So for me, those are some of the things that you see. Or like at Haas, when somebody was saying they have wheel guns for 2013, and then they're telling you that at McLaren they have a technology for 2022. So that's why Haas is never going to have that 1.9-second pit stop. So it's already unfair, and that's why I say let somebody who has money, like Lance or like Lawrence Stroll or Toto, come and invest in the thing. And that's why I don't understand the whole blocking thing. Why are you blocking the people who actually have the money to improve the teams? Or who have the ability to bring a team that can actually compete with the front four and give you that organic excitement. My thing is about let the sport be as organic as possible. Don't try to create a red flag because the race has been boring. Don't try to break the rules because the race has been boring, quote unquote. Don't try to force a situation because your five other teams just don't have the money to be able to compete with your front three teams. So that's where my argument comes in. And with the practice, um, I'm not against the new format. I don't mind the new format, only that they've kind of still disadvantaged the sprint race because I think now it's purely there for fun. This whole rules with tires and everything. I mean, I look forward to as much racing as possible. My only problem is let people be prepared. That's always been my thing. Like, let them be prepared. Give them 10 hours to fine tune their car. I don't enjoy DNFs and all those things. I want all the 20 cars to finish the race so that we will see that debris is just really causing debris.
What? Please, admin, is there applause? Hey, the wreath is really causing debris. Stop it. Stop it. I salute you. I salute you.
Mo, I understand what you're saying, and I get your point about the money thing. But one thing we should know about investors is nobody's going to, unless a true racer, someone who has racing spirit at heart, no one is going to come and say, "Oh, I'm bringing my 100 million and I want to invest in Williams or I want to invest in AlphaTauri." Look at Oracle. I think Oracle signed a 5-year deal of is it 150 million or how much it's with Red Bull, despite all the
500.
sponsorship. 500 million with Red Bull for 5 years, so that's 100 million per year. Now, if they have given Red Bull 75 and channeled 25 to a bottom team, that would have helped them. So none of these investors allowing them into the sport. I'm not saying we should keep the sport, but if we allow them into the sport, or if they're allowed into the sport, they're still going to target the Red Bulls, the Ferrari, the Mercedes, and right now maybe Aston Martin. No one is except a true racer at heart like Andretti, who is being blocked. No one is going to target Williams. No one is going to target Haas. No one's going to target Alpha Tauri and the others. So that's the whole. That's where we genuinely don't know how. That I don't even know. I personally I don't have a solution. We don't know how we're going to balance it to say, oh, we're welcoming investors, but you cannot invest in the top three or top four teams. You have to go down the grid, and nobody's
Actually,
going to. You're locking out. No, go ahead. Oya, go ahead.
no, actually, Imad, what you were saying is, for as long as, the whole thing of the rich get richer, because for as long as you don't invest in us to invert its opportunity, it will continue to get the smaller pot. Because everybody keeps saying it's Toto, it's Toto. Actually, the guys at Haas don't want you to bring in a one Andretti who's going to bring another top four team and make their sharing of the prize money even less. And it's Toto may be fighting for his engines to be sold, but as you can see, McLaren wants to move away from him, and I think join Red Bull. Even Wolves already said they're going to look for another partner, probably Audi, and move away from Mercedes. He's looking to sell his engine, but also if he remains top four and Andretti comes in and actually builds a team, which is now what Aston is doing. It's literally chasing Mercedes money, Ferrari money, and probably potentially Red Bull money. Because if Aston can invert this situation, the first prize money will go to them. Eventually, if you forever bring in a new team that has more resources than the current teams, they are going to take away from that basket. So you have people like Gunter, by the way, fighting it as well. So I'll not hog up all the space.
But how can they take from the basket when they're also putting there'll be extra money in the pot?
You see the pot, but still, you're putting the money in the pot, but you're taking bigger prize money because you're better prepared. You're
Yeah,
winning at the
but they
front.
will still get the last money anyway because unless they have better investment, they're still good. It's not going to make a difference to the money they get. I don't think.
No, it will, because now you're looking at 11 teams. And if you say you're distributing 500 million across 11 teams and
But it
still
won't be
has
500 million because it would increase because that
no,
extra that
I hear
extra
what you're saying, but what I don't understand is where does the money you join with go to?
it
Does
goes
it
to
go to
FIA.
Liberty Media, or does it go to no, FIA says it's just a rules body and is not getting paid. So that means this money is going to
Then
F1
maybe
or
it's
Liberty
Liberty
Media.
Media. Yeah.
Exactly. Even Silverstone is saying they are bankrupt. How are they bankrupt? That's why their
Because
ticket
the
prices are
cost
crazy.
the reason why is when you look at the cost of hosting an event, it's actually astronomical. And the only people who's got a really good sweetheart deal is Monaco, who's got a deal where they don't have to pay them the money. They get all their ticket money. They pay a very small fee, and it's like a Ferrari deal from way back when, and they're refusing to sign a new deal because they benefit from not having the deals that everybody else around the world has. And that's really the
Exactly.
problem because
Yeah.
you don't
So
even do a good
yeah.
race because it's
It's
well
a
above,
terrible race. It's a terrible race,
and then you
and
don't
that's why
even
people
pay.
were saying, yes, I think it's $5 million, and people were saying, come on, Morocco is willing to give you $50 million to put it on the calendar, and I think Kaya Lamy. So they were saying, so I don't understand the structure of how the money is divided, how it goes in, who pays what. But my point was to Imade that if today Andretti comes in and invests $2 billion and he's ahead of Williams or Haas or AlphaTauri, they still get a bigger pot of the prize money. So at the end of the day, Williams doesn't move, so it's funny. I don't understand the structure of how they get the money. What the money for entry does. If you bring in $600 million, where does it go? Why doesn't it
But
go
you
to a
know who's
trunk
gonna end
team?
up getting even more money, whether somebody else comes in or not? Aston Martin,
Mm.
because it's a Canadian-run company, and all those American and Canadians, because they're refusing to let more Americans in the field, they're the ones that gonna end up getting these deals because they're gonna be like our market and our people that we're marketing to. It needs to be, they're very like, it needs to be American, or it needs to be on the American continent. They're not going to be giving their money to even Red Bull, Mercedes, any of them. Watch and see, Aston Martin's going to clean up in the sponsorship money just now on the North American front, especially as they expand races to LA, Miami, and all that. He's going to start getting way more money than anybody else.
Hmm. Wow, 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 wow. So, I think, or rather, what I found out was that in 2022, according to recent news, 700 million dollars was the total paid to Liberty Media for hosting fees. So, I don't know whether they refunded Russia, because of what's going on. But yeah, it's quite. Looking at this fees, the fees are quite astronomical. You have Qatar paying 55 million. Um, I don't know what. China paid 50 million, but they still cancelled race. Abu Dhabi 40 million. US Austin 25, Mexico 25, Japan 25, Marina Bay 35. That's Singapore. Monza 25, Spa 22, Zandvoort 32. And you have Silverstone 25, Paul Ricard 22, which is, I'm sure that's why they are not there again. So Monaco, I believe Monaco pays 15 million. So Miss Catrock, you were right. So which is the lowest of them all. And Bahrain 45 million, Saudi Arabia 55 million. And Imola 20 million. Imola for them paying 20 million, they should leave this calendar. Why are they paying 20 million? No overtaking opportunity. What's that for?
Ferrari.
They
You
should leave.
remember it's a Ferrari love affair
It's
with
not.
Formula One.
Ferrari has what do you call it already? They have Monza already. That's enough. And yeah, I was even going to add something. So yeah, speaking about Monza, I don't know, but this particular format, I would have preferred it on a track like Monza, because we've had in the past, I believe we've had sprint races in Monza. So I would have preferred if this format was done in a traditional track like Monza, where you have runoff areas, less room for um, crashes, or driver errors, not a tight street circuit like Baku, But I believe Baku brings more excitement than Monza, and it's quite unfortunate. Monza is not even getting sprint race this year. Maybe because their money is small. I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah, what the Azerbaijan pay? 55. Oh, they have to justify the viewing time. Oh,
How
no
much is Las
wonder.
Vegas? Las Vegas could be hitting 100.
Well, hey. But yeah, Las Vegas. I think I saw the track layout the other day, and I was not impressed because Red Bull is going to lap. Max will be in the, what do you call that room? Cool down room. Albon or Magnussen will still be completing their laps because this Red Bull straight line speed is just going to be dominant on that track. But yeah, okay, let's have Enabong. Sorry, I saw your hands up earlier.
Yeah, I was going to speak. I think it's been overtaken by other events. I was going to speak about when Mo was talking about the cost cap issue and allowing other teams to come in, to invest. And I think Imade kind of made the point, part of the point for me when he said that these investors will still come in and invest, in the bigger teams, and you still have the same situation. But in terms of, investing in the smaller teams, I was just going to point out that the reason why we had the cost cap in the first place was because, when there was no, when there was no cost cap, people were not investing in the smaller teams either. So, the FIA had to come up with a strategy where, because the smaller teams weren't getting investments, and how do we bridge the gap? So, I think that whether or not they allow Andretti or a million and one other people, to come and invest in the sports, I think that the money would still go to the bigger teams. But also to remember that not a lot of people have the kind of money, right, to set up an entire team. And if we've seen anything in the past, you know that if you're not an engine manufacturer, I mean, we can speak about Aston Martin being, the outlier here because. Of course, Mercedes decided to mess up, but yeah. But if you're not an engine manufacturer, it's pretty difficult, for you to win championships, the way that the other big teams do. So, I mean, when we go back and forth with the cost cap issue, I actually think that it was a no-brainer. I think that I know we had this conversation several times, and we keep, going back and forth as to whether we like the cost cap or we hate the cost cap. Um, and our feelings change every time. But I still think that it's a no-brainer. You could keep it open, but people were not investing in Has anyways. Has just got their biggest investments, this year, right? So when there was no cost cap, nothing was happening. This was a no-brainer to bridge the gap. So I don't even think it's a matter of do we like it or not. It's something that had to happen, particularly for equity's sake. And that's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Enabong. Can we have Yoda next, please?
Good day, everyone, man. It's been a while since I came on here. Um, I just came in, so I don't even know the conversation everyone has been having. But I was hearing the tracks paying like 50 million, and they probably don't even make that money back. So in my head, it's like, what's the point? How you paying 50 million for one race each year, and then someone else is paying 20 million? Also, I just remembered because of the whole Liberty Media thing, Las Vegas doesn't pay anything. Funny enough, F1 was it? I don't know the way it works, but I know they get paid for, so they don't need to pay anything. And what Enobong was saying, for me personally, with the cost cap, it's like I get it's good for like the smaller teams to catch up, but I don't see the point anymore. If you look at it, like the rules they brought in this year has absolutely nothing to do with the whole field changing. It's literally the rules. So money involved, money or not, I still think the whole field is bunched up together. I still think everyone is working fine. I think it would just be more interesting to see other teams sort of like, catch up without the cost cap. Teams like Mercedes, obviously, that's the team I'm supporting. So I don't know. Yeah, it depends. Everyone has a different view, I guess. But that's my take on it.
So I have a
Thank
question
you.
for you there. So you
Okay.
think that the regulations is what's making the teams closer, not necessarily the cost cap? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, essentially, that's what I'm saying because if you look at it, the only reason some teams have not just caught up is because they don't have as much money to spend. But last year is when, or the year before is when the cost cap came. But look at Red Bull; they are at the top of it. It was based on their design. Other teams are where they are now based on their design. I just feel like a lot more always happens like this with regulation changes. The truth is, honestly, some teams are not even meeting budget right now. Like a team like Haas, even with the cost cap, only like 4 sponsors came in and they're about to meet their budgets, or now they've met their budgets, even with the cost cap. So it's almost like stifling the amount of things you could do. I don't think you need to reduce money spending. Just work more on the regulations, work more on the things that change maybe every 4 years, every 5 years.
Man,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
That's what I
I
say.
mean, I think we may have to agree to disagree because I don't think that teams like Aston Martin. I mean, I know that Lawrence Stroll has a lot of money, but I don't think that teams like Aston Martin or you would find teams like Williams, being in top 10, I mean, qualifiers, if that's they didn't create that equity situation. I mean, I understand what you mean regarding the regulations, but I also think that example Mercedes with the way that they're struggling now, I understand that it's because we didn't get the regulations right, but I also think that if Mercedes had the leeway to spend as much money as they normally would have, I think that some of these problems would have been solved a long time ago. So it's trying to adjust, it's a big team who used to spend over 400 and something million, dollars before, or is it pounds or is it euros, to having to plan around this very tight budget that you have, while, of course, there's the regulations, messing things up and trying to see how you can move, continue your development. I think there's not, both things could be true. Everything plays a part, we think with what we see now, with the close racing that we see now. I don't think it's, one or the other, right? I think you could have given them as,
Okay,
sorry, go ahead.
can we look at it like this? Mercedes dominated for 8 years without a cost cap. What happened to Ferrari? What happened to Red Bull? They couldn't catch up without a cost cap. So personally, for me, it's just looking like that and thinking is my reasoning behind. It's not necessarily more the money. Do you get where I'm coming from? And if you look at teams like Aston Martin, there's still a cost cap, but Aston Martin has done really good. Why? Because someone like Lawrence Stroll has a good project. He's able to poach the top talents and know, okay, I can pay you guys this certain amount. This is what we're trying to build. Competitive
So,
spirit
so,
was
so
able
which,
to
so
put
which,
those
which,
guys.
which comes back to the same thing. So, if you think that if Has had that money to poach the people that Aston Martin is poaching, they wouldn't do that. So my point is, it's not. I don't think it's one without the other, right? I think it's both, right? That's just what I'm saying.
Mm. Okay, the
Yeah.
thing is,
So
the salaries fall under like the cost cap. If salaries, I don't think salaries fall under that cost cap. I think it's just development on car. And if it's not, then unfortunately the guys at the back have been slacking for years. Because Red Bull has been doing that. Even to your point, Red Bull were poaching Mercedes engineers before Aston Martin without a cost cap, and they only met up at the end of the 8th year. So yeah, but I do get your point though. I get how you say it that way.
yeah, and
I think
on this whole cost cap conversation, the teams had to let some of these engineers go eventually. Yeah, so the team had to let some of these engineers go, and that's why Red Bull, or there was a whole lot of reshuffling amongst some of the top teams, and it was because of the cost cap. That's why they had to let them go. And then there was this talk, I don't know, I think it was from Ross Braun, I might be wrong, that said it's going to take close to 4 to 5 years for this cost cap, for the vision of the cost cap to actually kick in. And this is year two, if I'm right. So if this is year two, I think we should let it run its course, and then they can now take it off completely, or make a readjustment to it. Or I think before it was 145, then they reduced it to 141 or 140. They adjusted for inflation at some point. So if they're doing all that, let it run its course, and then let's see if, even if nobody more not even if everyone doesn't catch up, at least if more teams catch up, then we'll see that the cost cap is actually working. If there's more reshuffling going on, we only hear of the big names that are being reshuffled. We don't hear of the smaller names, and the smaller names is, I think admin was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, maybe about over 30 something engineers from Mercedes moved to Aston Martin because Mercedes had no choice than to let them go. If Mercedes increase their salary to try as much as possible to keep them, that will trickle down to other parts of their budget, and that will be an issue for them. They would not be meeting up with probably development or whatsoever. So I think we should also, in speaking about this course, I know we are all frustrated. Lots of people are frustrated as my team can potentially spend this money, but they don't want to break the rules. So maybe we should give it some time to run its course and see if it truly brings the pack closer together at the end of the fourth year. Yeah, thank you.
That's very fair.
I
That's
think
very fair. But please, someone can someone answer me as to how these tracks are paying 50 million a year to host one F1
you see
race?
the
Well,
whole. I'm
They are
well,
telling
laundering money. That's the case. They are laundering money.
I'm
no,
telling you
it's
that
not.
Liberty Media.
No, I won't say it's a laundry money situation because the track's paying 50 million a year. Saudi, Bahrain, Azerbaijan, Abu Dhabi.
Yes, but who's
Well,
taking that money?
there's a similarity, and I'm sure we all know the similarity there. They have the money. You understand? So, I think a track
They
like
have the
Spa is paying
money.
35 million. Sorry, go ahead.
They have the money, but where is it going? When I hear a team principal saying we don't have the basic software, and Liberty Media is churning money through Netflix, it's churning money through real estate because these guys are now influencing trucks in New York, trucks in Miami. You keep wondering, what are you doing? You're sucking money out of the sport to go where? Because I can understand Europe. It runs MotoGP. Sometimes it runs these other rallies, maybe cross country rallies. But what's happening at Bahrain when the F1 race is off? I mean, I've been to Abu Dhabi when the race is not on. It's literally closed. It's literally closed and displaying Arab money with the Ferraris on the walls. So what are these trucks doing? Anyway, I don't even want to
I
think
think
about
at this
the
point
money.
you have to give more Ben's. Do you have Ben's email so that she can speak?
Yeah, but
It's
you
not.
know
It's
when
not
it
Ben.
when it
Do you
comes
It's
have
Dom.
Ben's email? I've
It's,
asked that
it's
question so many times.
Dominicality.
No one can answer. Just give her Ben's
So
email.
true. So,
No,
when
so
it
anyway,
comes
no,
to
no, no, no,
Arab
please.
when it comes to Arab money, they build stuff and just leave it. It's a toy.
yeah.
They've got money on
I
top of
know.
money on top of money. They don't
Oh
care.
I,
yeah, they
I,
do. They
I
do.
think.
They do.
I
I know
think
they
in terms
do.
of what do you call it? Let's not forget Saudi Arabia was hinting for a second what do you call, for a second
Yes, even
Grand Prix.
Qatar wanted another one. What happened to Losail?
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand this break. They had so many
Um.
options
No,
to
Loso is
choose
back
from.
on the calendar. It's back on the calendar till 2031, I believe. So they have a contract till 2031. So
Yeah, but the but
Anyway,
the the China gave them such short notice. If I was a track, I wouldn't do it. So I have to pay money to get this thing done, get this track filled in less than a year, which is really they start selling their tickets the day after the race. Now you've got like 6 weeks to fill a track and hope you make money, and then all the losses are you. I wouldn't do it.
I tell you, they're reaping money from this
Madness.
sport. I don't know how they're doing it. Like you're making the sponsor
The
pay
money's
money,
going to Liberty Media
and
shareholders.
then
I'm gonna buy some shares with them.
right, it must be like a
It's the way
dollar.
forward.
It must be like a share is $20,000 because I don't understand it. Uh, I,
well,
I don't
I
even
believe
know
the
my
shares like
chain of
50 some,
thought.
it should be like 50 something dollars, but yeah, shouldn't be.
My chain of thought has been taken away. No,
Admin
I
has
was
already done his
talking about.
research. Hmm.
Uh, no, I was talking about. I was going to talk about the
The
cost
share
cap.
price is
I think
chucking
the
it
cost
below
cap.
10.
Sorry,
I'm
what were you
thinking
saying?
they're cheating the shareholders anyway.
Well,
Um, but I heard they're also into real estate business, and they're running something in Zandvoort. So the conspiracy theories are many. I was talking the cost cap. I think the cost cap would be okay if it was not reducing every year, and if they were not making changes so rapidly. Now I'm thinking about a sprint race. And the last Grand Prix for Alpine, how much money have they lost in damages? And they're going to breach this cost cap because you had an accident last weekend, you had a fire this weekend. You have essentially 3 races in one weekend, so all the resources that I think would be going towards something like say development of parts and sourcing the best guy to come and sort out your error end up going into things like maintenance. And then it's so tight, like I know Red Bull breached it and everybody wants to throw stones at them, but I could see how you could breach it so easily because now you have 6 sprint races and then they keep saying, oh, we'll give you another 400,000 to be able to cater for that sprint. But you're inventing ideas along the way, and then there's a cost cap, and then there's you have 9 out of your 10 teams still trying to figure it out. I don't know. The cost cap has come with so much. It's already packaged with a lot of constraints that I don't know. Bringing the teams closer and trying to achieve, because if you're saying, say, Williams wants to poach a Mercedes engineer, and you're thinking, well, they're going to pay him $12 million. The team you're taking him away from has more resources than the one you're trying to help. Maybe let's give it an opportunity. I see where the equity story comes in, but I also see where the innovation is killed, and going more towards a spec series begins to happen. So let's see.
Okay. Okay. So I know most spoke about shares, but uh, for what do you call them? For Liberty Media, over time the budget cap has increased, or rather the market cap has increased, because I believe the last time I checked it was about $16 billion. So now it's 27.4 billion dollars. So meaning that and I think that was beginning of the season when I checked it. So that's quite a big increase and shows that people are investing in the sports, So the sport is growing, and I believe one thing with companies that have public shareholders is that they always want to satisfy the shareholders. You understand? So that the market cap is always gradually grows bigger, than what it currently is. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how the market cap will be by the end of the year. But okay, moving on. Williams. Yeah, most spoke about Williams. Williams coming in to this weekend. I was very surprised to see Williams with the sort of pace that he had. Alex Albon P9 in practice, and then I believe Sargent. I can't remember where Sargent was, but he wasn't far. I believe he wasn't far off as well. P16. So Williams, yeah, during the break, James Vals came out to say something very for me. I won't say it was necessarily worrying, but you can kind of see why they are where they are. Because as someone coming from Mercedes, a team with possibly the latest technology and tools in Formula One, in terms of gaining performance and all what's not. Him going to Williams, he let me look for what he said. But he said he made a statement that Williams they lacked the basic infrastructure. So yeah, so you said James Wells was surprised to see that Williams lacked some basic software systems that are common in other F1 teams. However, he was impressed by the team's ability to build a car without these systems. Val said that Williams need to improve its systems and structure in order to move forward. Which when I obviously when I saw the article, I was like, okay, it's all making sense now. Because I for one know that Williams has a better structure than Haas. You know, in terms of infrastructure, the way they run their team. So you can imagine what is going on, or rather how a Haas structure is. You understand? So I I don't know. Williams obviously they have new owners. Darlington is the capital of ventures, whichever one it is. But I was going to just ask everyone: are we seeing the changes yet with Williams? Because yeah, I know that they've taken on new management, taking on a younger chap, who seems to have a vision in James Vowles. The thing is, you might have, in terms of personnel, a very good personnel. But the thing is, are the owners ready to invest? You understand? Because at the end of the day, I believe Darlington Capital is an investment. If I'm not mistaken, is an investment firm. And all these investment firms, there comes a time whereby they want to reap their profits. You understand? Because they have people they are all reporting to. So for me, from my own personal point of view, I personally don't think. Yeah, you might have brought in James, but I personally don't think the changes are evident. You understand? Though
I mean,
though
I
in the
think the
past.
first thing we should ask, I want to ask you is, what is your
Okay.
expectation in terms of changes before we even attempt to answer that question?
Okay. For Williams. Well, I I, I expect them to at least. I'm on that expectation now is even hard, safe. What is my expectation? I'm on this thing even hard.
Yeah, because what are you
At least
measuring like
move,
changes
move,
or move
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 forward.
to where?
That's just move forward a bit. That's just it. You know, because okay. I don't even know. I don't even know. I know, you have just shattered my whole where I was heading to now. But because what do I even expect from Williams as a team? But anyway, how it's something I have to think about now, which I've never thought about. But I think back to what I was saying in the sense that regardless of me not even knowing what I even expect from them, at least there should be some let's say some evident changes. Like after anyway, Racing Point took a bit of time though, but we could see when Lawrence Stroll came in, we could see it with was it the 2020 or the 2021 um car. But yeah, anyways, Ms. Catcher, please go ahead.
I think that you could really see that they have benefited from a change of management and a change in direction, because they're from the back of the grid coming in 10th and 11th, which to me is huge, because it means that you have had a 50% improvement in performance. So well done, Williams. Because I'm like, wait, is that Williams? What the hell? So yeah, good for them. They did good to choose the people that they've chosen for this year, because it's clearly working for them as far as I can see.
Let's not even forget this man is not even on the grid again, Latifi. So there's a bit of positive changes. No. And funny enough, there hasn't been, well, let's say apart from probably, there hasn't been much free practice crashes this season. I don't know if anyone has noticed because when the Canadian was here, it's just we just have one in the wall.
I mean, there's no worries. The Reese is prepping for the position. Don't worry if you miss Latifi. Don't worry. The Reese is available.
Uh,
He's just practicing now.
Da-
Don't worry. Oh, look at what he
There
Daniel,
will
did.
be plenty crashes this weekend, and I'm
Daniel,
kind of expecting one from the front, but I'm not gonna put my mouth on him.
I know the people, but okay.
Miss Catrox, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, please.
I feel like Leclerc is driving and he's out in front, and the wall says Charles, Charles, and he says, "Come to me," and he just throws the car in the wall. That's the kind of madness. He be clean out in front, nobody in front of him, doing well, and then boom in the wall.
But
And this track, there'll be plenty red flags. I can already see it.
I think we have not even spoken about Leclerc's conversion from pole to win, which is something he has a very his
He
records.
has the ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Miss Castro. What a wow. I can't even breathe. She's so great.
But let's say Leclerc's conversion from pole to wins are not that great. So it's interesting to see what will happen tomorrow. I'm sorry, on Sunday for this what do you call it, for the Grand Prix. It's quite I forgot. So now tomorrow's event. Let's even talk about this sprint shooter. So now tomorrow's event is just it's kind of well I say it's kind of one off, which is why my suggestion to this whole format would have been they would have just done FP1, FP2, and then we'll just have um qualifying, and then that qualifying, wherever you finish in qualifying sets the grid for sprints and what do you call it, sprints and the Grand Prix. Obviously that's just my own suggestion because tomorrow's event now is just one off, and then imagine you bin the car in Q1. That's the end. Just imagine Gasly being in the car. I can imagine Gasly being in the car tomorrow morning. In the afternoon, he being it again. Sunday, would
Somebody
you
that they
want to
fixed his
drive?
car. Oh.
Gasly's
They
engineers,
just fixed his car.
they're drinking Red Bull and Pro Plus. they're like,
It's not giving them
these
wings.
are
Oh, they are drinking the Red Bull. It's not giving them wings.
Red Bull and Pro Plus mix is what they're drinking every time he gets in the car. I swear to God. It's like, what is wrong with this one? Do you not have 2 more points to come out of this thing and lose your license? Are you trying to lose this license? Is that where we're going with this? What is wrong with him?
Hmm. Anyways, okay, yeah, Gasly still has the wristband looming over his head, which and it's quite, and then Australia I didn't score points, so hopefully he's not going to get the wristband when they are fighting for a position in the constructors, because it's going to hurt them really bad, but they are playing regardless. I think tomorrow's sprint is going to be interesting in regards to Sunday, because we will now see, or rather know if that Alpine is really reliable, because how many laps is already the thing is already catching fire. Why? Do you understand? So um I think tomorrow is just good. Well, let's say if we have similar results to the qualifying we had today, then I think the sprints might just tell us everything we need to um know for Sunday. But who knows what can happen on Sunday. Someone might just be in the car again. Another person might DNF. Someone might crash in the pits. But yeah, obviously we don't wish anyone any form of accident. Want everyone to cross the checkered flag well, but it depends on you, brother. But yeah, okay. Moving on. Let's move on. Let's quickly touch McLaren. A team that brought rather their season is just starting in round 4. Lando Norris said that the car they brought what did he say? The car they brought this weekend they should have brought in Bahrain. You know, uh, which is quite unfortunate. Because I believe there's only 1 point McLaren have scored if I'm not mistaken. So um I believe they've fallen back in terms of the pecking order, but hopefully they'll be able to pick up. And it seems as the upgrades came, Norris came with upgrades because he was almost half a second quicker than Piastri. Sometimes when you look at their lap times today, so it seems that himself he came with upgrades today. But yeah, hopefully he's having a good one. But I don't know if anyone wants to say anything on McLaren. Just okay. Um, Aston Martin, just very quickly. I don't know where that rumor came from, but there was a very funny rumor circulating of Fernando Alonso. Um, I don't even know. I didn't even know what to think of it. Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift dating. You understand? For me, I was like, oh, this is well, I say this is new because you personally, from my own personal point of view, I wouldn't think that Fernando is going for such a high value target. You understand? But as I heard Fernando is going for Taylor, I said, oh wow, there's some stroke confidence, but lo and behold, it seems it's just rumors, and unfortunately, let me not say unfortunately because I'm not in the relationship. Let me know before they say I don't wish someone well. But it seems it's not yet on course in terms of that aspect of things. But hopefully, maybe who knows? They can link up in future. But yeah, Daniela, did you want to say something?
Admin, how can you wish someone bad in relationship? A relationship that is imaginary. The relationship that is in one person's head, is in one person's imagination. How possible? Can't we, I just don't understand. It's as a Gen Zer, it's very funny to me. I know that a lot of people have laughed at the concept of it. It's so wild. It's very, very wild. Alonso. Have you seen Alonso and have you seen Taylor Swift? Let's not lie.
I actually
Let's
think they
tell the
deserve
truth and shame the
themselves.
devil. Oh. So, and that's why I don't. It's fighting for relevance. You hear that, oh, Louis went to Coachella concert with his friends, so you say, oh, me too, I'm cool. I mean, come on, my G. Pick somebody, at least pick somebody that we can say, oh, maybe it's believable. Maybe some supermodel that we have never heard of. We can say, oh, maybe it's likely. But Taylor Swift, no problem. Oh.
But
Daniela, you don't rate Alonso. What do you mean that it's not
My
possible?
guy, my
at the
Like,
end of
rate
the
at
what?
some
this
Is
time,
minus
Daniela,
10,
this is in the eyes of the
minus
beholder.
100.
This is in the eyes of the
I
beholder.
don't even
What
think it's
is what is
impossible.
the
I mean,
problem
look
now?
at Taylor's exes. Anyway, Let's not even dabble into all of that.
But yeah. But I'm just gonna chip in. I'm just gonna side Alonso. Alonso is not. I'm sure he's handsome in his own way and manner. So I believe even though Taylor is not gonna go for him, he will have another one waiting on the side for him. And by the way, he just came out of a relationship, so I don't think he will be in a hurry to just dabble in one. But obviously, you'll be eating on the side if you get what I mean. But yeah, no problem. Yeah, moving on. Um, okay. Haas. Let's look at Haas quickly. Haas. Magnussen today P20. He stopped. I don't know. I don't know whether it was doing whether when the red flag came out, when they said freeze, that's when his engine said, okay, let's go freeze, because I don't understand. He did not set. He tried to set in laps. He was even the lap he even set. If he didn't even really set a lap, because in the practice he was about 5 seconds off. Yeah, 5 seconds off the leader, and then how many of his teammates? So yeah, about almost 3 seconds off his teammates. So he didn't really put in laps, and then I believe same thing for qualifying as well, just a lapping Q1, and then when he tried to go for the second lap, they told him to abort, that the car will not make it. If he make it, it's not gonna be a problem. So yeah, thank God he had to abort, because maybe the house could have caught fire as well, just like the Alpine, and being in the spirits of, or rather in the season of budget cap, you have to make wise decisions. If your car is gonna blow, you forfeit the lap, to prevent expenditure. You understand? But yeah, once again, regardless, Hulkenberg, well, I don't know if it's even fair now to even say Hulkenberg out qualifying the Magnussen, but I believe that's how the data is reading at the moment. Feelings not attached. Hulkenberg qualifies Magnussen. Even though Hulkenberg I believe what did he even finish again? P17 or so. So yeah, P17. So not so great. And has they brought top grades though, but at the end of the day, only God knows what they brought, But yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to chip in on Haas, and then we will probably round up with Alfa Romeo. Okay. Alfa Romeo, Bottas and Guan Yu. Bottas I think this is the first time. Is this the first time Bottas are qualifying Joe this season? Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not so sure, because I know Joe has been outstanding on his level, but he nearly made it into Q2. I believe it was just 2 thousandths of a second to Sargent, which was very close. So he could have made it into Q2. But it's good to see Bottas in Q2. It's been a while. I believe hopefully I think his own season is just starting. Because Bottas has been, as if you've been following Bottas recently, he's F1 is more of a hobby for him now. So he's a business owner, private jet owner, circuit owner, runs hospitality, all of that good stuff. So yeah. I think he's into a lot of business now, with F1 being the side hustle. So, yeah. And I'm not joking. I'm even serious. If you think I'm joking, you see it there. Go on his Instagram page. You see him there. With his alcohol that is advertising. Oat gin. I'm giving Bottles free promo. So you guys can go and buy oat gin. Bolaji is not here. But I'm sure I'm sure he would love to know about that product. But yeah, Bottas, it's good to finally see him in Q2. Been a while. As I said, the season is just starting. Hopefully he's able to make up places, on Sunday. Sorry, just quickly on Bottas. I don't know if anyone saw it. Bottas came out recently to say something about personality, that he feels the sport does not what did he say again? Oh my show. But he said something about personality. Oh yeah, I have. What he said the rigid competitiveness and structure of the F1 races hinder drivers from displaying their personalities, and it doesn't foster strong connection between fans and drivers. You understand? I don't know what you guys think about that coming from Bottas, but personally, I'll just share my own 2 cents. And well, Bottas, first of all, I think I'm not sure anyone here would know Bottas if he was not an F1 driver. First of all, so it's more of your job comes first before your personality. When Daniel Ricciardo was getting podiums in Red Bull, that was where the showy personality came out from. Was he drinking? Was he? I don't. Anyway, I know what Daniel Ricciardo in GP2 or GP3. But was he doing showy in the junior series? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. You understand? So, even Lewis's personality over time has changed. We had the when Lewis was younger, we had the sorry,
The
Mercedes fans.
hothead
We had
Lewis. Go
yeah,
on. Go
yeah,
on.
we
Go
had the
ahead.
we had the kind of Lando Norris trait in Lewis, a bit very hot-headed, talky here and there, But
But he
now,
won races. Yeah?
yeah,
Can we put that in? Okay, thanks.
yeah, that's why I said traits. I did not say personality, just traits. It's just a single thing. So, he had that in him, and then gradually he, matured into this vegetarian, all this environmental lifestyle personality. You get where I'm coming from here. So at the end of the day, you are able is you have to bring results for it to have this kind of personality. And let me tell you something. You think if Lewis was not winning races, you think anybody would care whether he's doing God I'm sorry to anybody that might feel offended, but you think anybody would care when he's doing all this charity work he's doing, or when he's talking about Black Lives Matter, or this thing matters. You think anybody will care? They will say, oh, this one, it will even have the audience first of all, because if you are not at the top of your game, there's no personality. You understand? You understand where I'm coming from? You look at Max. Max, you have won races. He's a champion. Max, we know his personality is a personality of he keeps face like someone that work in post office. All those people that used to work in night post. People in the post office, they don't always smile. They are straightforward. They are straight face. That's how Max keeps face. That's his personality. He just want to come drive car and be going. If he score podium, if he win race, thank you. If he not win race, fuck. That's it. That's his personality. So I don't think Bottas has any right at the moment to come and be talking about personality because
I think the first question
okay,
is what personality does Bottas want to showcase? I mean, I'm not even like trying to
maybe what
throw jabs at
like
him, but what personality does he want
I
to
know
showcase?
I'm coming to this thing. What personality exactly your question? What personality want to show us? We have seen your Yash, you have seen your beer buttocks. So you have even frame it, let people use it and do charity work. Credit to the charity, credit to thank you for supporting the people in need. That I appreciate their cause. But what personality do you want us to see? I don't even understand. What personality do you want us to see? Do you want to be an influencer? If you want to be an influencer, that's not a problem. You understand? But for you to influence, you have to be giving us performance. Kimi was giving us performance. You understand? Even when Kimi was in that Alpha Romeo, he was making overtakes. We'll see. He will score PS sometimes. Driver of the day. When they interview him, he will give us silent treatment. That's Kimi's personality. You understand? Same thing with Vettel. If Vettel was not winning races, Vettel's personality went from similar with Hamilton as well. You understand? These are people that have made impact, or rather, their impact in the sport has developed personality. You cannot come and be complaining by the competition is too rigid, it's too rigid, it's too rigid. What is too rigid? Yes, it's the longest season of the calendar. But that one is you and your drivers association. It's you people that know what you people sign up. Me, I'm just here to watch. But at the end of the day, you are getting paid to do a job. Whether your personality does not matter. Put in the results. Alpha Romero now, they are coming, they are Abisalva, they are saying Valtteri, he's very the feedback is given is very positive, coming from a championship team, Kinikon. That's not what I'm not. They say the feedback is at the back. Yeah, is inside the house. Me, I want to be seeing it on the track, because that is how his personality is going to blossom. You understand? So now I'm sure some of us know how marketing is working. If Vatina is scoring points, Alfa Romeo, their match will be going up. That's it. That's how all this thing work. So I don't understand what it's coming to say. Personality that the sport does not allow. Sport does not allow what? If you know you want to go and do personality, go and do America Got Talent, or you come to Lagos and come and do Nigerian Idols. If you know you want to show personality, come on. So yeah, that's my take on Valtteri and his and this stuff, because I feel that at the end of the day, F1 and your job should be your priority. Every other thing is secondary. You understand? But yeah, okay, we have okay, I see you, Ridwan and Daniela. Okay, let's hear from Daniela, then we'll hear from Ridwan, please. Thank you.
Admin, I just want to continue your point on Bottas' thing, just not even to play devil's advocate, but just to maybe see where his perspective is coming from. I think that, as Bottas has been on this time, we have definitely come across, some of my generation and younger Gen Zs, and they are very big on, the idea of performance, and you have to score. Basically, what you are saying is what most people agree with, that you have to perform in order to have a personality. And I think that the argument Bottas is maybe trying to make is that, oh, that shouldn't matter, that, you should be able to, be given chances to, what do you call it? People should see you for more than your score sheet or more than what you bring to the table, which is very contradictory in F1, which is not possible because it's a results-based sport. But I mostly agree with what you said, admin, because this is a sport. These people are being paid. Somebody's giving you millions, hundreds of thousands to come and do a job. But I think that maybe the side where he's coming from is obviously all his years at Mercedes and what that did to, obviously when he went to AlphaTauri, when he came to Alfa Romeo, he was like, oh, my mental health is better. There's less pressure. I think that he's saying that he would appreciate that from the sport, but unfortunately, that's not something Formula One can give you, because at the end of the day, people's jobs, people's daily bread, the team's prize money is at stake. When you enter the car and drive, so you cannot come in at least as much as what do you call it? Maybe we should go when they have their drivers dinners. They should carry drivers to survive. Then we can see their personality. Then when they are reaching for the paycheck and Luis has already paid, then maybe we can be seeing more of that kind of personality. Maybe Drive to Survive can help Bottas in that area. That would be my suggestion for Bottas. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Let me tell you something. Sorry, no, but just quickly, let me say something. Let's not forget, this Bottas they're talking about personality is the same human being that his house in Finland is just only one room. So that he will not accommodate visitor. John Lucas, one that is talking about personality. Which personality? When he was in Mercedes, did they stop him from wearing mufti? Shebi Lewis was wearing mufti every day. Why do you not wear mufti every day? Oh, now I want to ask one final question. But now we're all here. You see, I'm sure some of us have our favorite drivers. Even you have your second favorite or third favorite driver. Bottas is in that category. Now you have the opportunity to meet Bottas now. Two of you are sitting down to discuss. Tell me now, you and Bottas, you are face to face. You and Bottas will have something to discuss.
No,
And someone that thinks about personality,
there's-
you have something what do you want to ask Bottas?
I would.
Oh, why do you show us your booty? Oh God.
Sorry.
Sorry, please
Good,
go
good,
ahead,
good,
guys. Thank you.
good evening. I'm going to interrupt, but I agree with what you're both saying, and I feel that with Bottas, he's at a place of peace. He's, as Daniel said, his whole mental health is all correct now because the pressure he was receiving from Mercedes was too much, and even then, it was a case of that he didn't know. He knows his talents, but you're trying to compare your talent to Lewis. It's just different. You can't be in his shoes. So if you recognized your lane, you wouldn't have the pressure that you're having had then. However, seeing as he's been at Alpine, he's doing his obligation towards his contract. He's bringing the team up throughout for the constructors, which is what they want: more money, more win time, etc. So he's able to go off and do these extra activities because he knows once he goes, what's he going to do after? I mean, when you really think about it, fine, he wants to create a personality for himself. Yeah, you can be that personality. If you look at Kimi, he's the Iceman. As arrogant as he is, he's created as, oh, he's funny, kiki. No, you're rude. That's what you were, rude. But then when Lewis and his own personality, because as I always say, Lewis has got the sauce from day dot, they didn't like that. They didn't like how Lewis can go around the world and come back and win races. Go around the world, go on a break, and then win the championship towards the end of the season. Even when he launched he brought Tommy Hilfiger on as a sponsor. How can this man have his own fashion show? Da 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 da. But he goes and comes back and wins races. So obviously, all these younger ones now are starting to see that. So that's how I see it, as they all want to create personality because they all want to have money after the races. I mean, if you look at Lando, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, we have like a morning show in the UK called This Morning. This show is just for, those people who work at home, mothers, fathers, old people. He's sitting there keen on the stage. And I'm thinking, why are you here? Again, he's trying to create personality. So outside of the F1 bubble, this is what takes place. Because remember, Lewis did all of this before Drive to Survive. And now people are recognizing that the coins are all coming in after the fact. That's what it is. The only one I give respect to after Lewis is Yuki. When they asked all the drivers where you want to be, everyone said WDC. Yuki, where do you want to be? I want to be a restaurant owner. So that's what he's gearing up to. I'm finished.
Thank you very much, Charlie. I'm sure Butters has restaurant plans in
So,
that place as well.
sorry, I just wanted
That's
to add, like, about this Botas personality thing, right? First of all, I even think that we don't even have full context as to what he means by personality, right? We're just all guessing. But if our guess is right, I personally don't find Botas as a charismatic person, right? I don't think that he is, and who's really stopping you from showing your personality? I mean, let's take Danny Rick for example. Danny Rick was doing so bad, extremely bad the entire of 2022, right? But Daniel still found a way. I mean, my guy rode, came into Austin or as a cowboy. I mean, my point is, no one is stopping you. It's this thing where some drivers, voters in this case, you're looking for permission to be who you are because you want to be who you are, not also maybe some consequence from the FIA. Lewis would wear his nose piercings and tell you, I can't take it off, damn the consequences and move on. But it's this. I understand that mental health is important in for the drivers, but it's just this constant where drivers need some kind of permission to be themselves. Who is stopping you from showing your personality or being who you really are? Right, there's nobody. I don't find him to be charismatic, so I don't understand what he means by personality. Is your team stifling you from standing up for for causes, or is there too much pressure that you have to conform to certain rules and can't be yourself? Like, there's just no context, so we can speculate from now till tomorrow. But I just think that whatever context he meant, they are not excuses for you know I mean, I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know what that's meant. But I don't, like, nothing is a good enough excuse, because one, you're not charismatic enough. I don't think so. Two, there's nobody stopping you from showing who you really are. It's just maybe you want to do that, and then you don't also want to bear the consequences. It's just, I mean, see, Bottas is, to me, Bottas is old news. I don't even like to, because he just needs to retire. That's what it is.
Nupong, sorry, on your point, I just want to add something. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like F1 drivers, in terms of like before Lewis's era, Lewis often talks about how, like, coming into F1, you needed to have, like, wear long white shirts with the trousers, like that was what was expected of you. So he turned up in his jeans and people looking at him funny, or even like something as Lewis changing after they do the race, Lewis changing into a comfortable thing rather than just wearing like Mercedes this thing. Like, I feel like that has been the culture in F1. Maybe that's what Bottas is talking about. Like, Lewis is breaking so many barriers in terms of what drivers are able to do now. Look at Joe and you coming in with the drip. Joe and you coming with the fashion sense as well. Now that he's seen that someone is able
Which,
to
if
do
you're
it, so
thinking
maybe that's
about
what
it,
Bottas
has
means.
played to his advantage, right? So that someone has broken the rules has given leeway to other people to do the same. So how about you go ahead,
But
you go ahead and do that,
listen,
right? So
yes, but the problem with Bottas is Bottas couldn't do that when he was with Lewis, because Lewis was winning and doing that. He was barely winning as it is, so he didn't have time to focus on. He was focusing on the race. He just had to do the bare minimum just to come and go. But now that he's somewhere else, he was like, oh, now that he saw the first leader at the first driver at AlphaTauri and what do you call it? Alfa Romeo. Hey, we keep messing up Alfa Romeo. He's seen that, oh yes, now I have liberty to do this. He's experiencing some of the liberty that Lewis got, and he's like, oh, we should have more of this. I think that's what I'm speculating that he means.
I don't even, because I mean, I'm even banking it
anyway.
off of the fact that he had already said that Mercedes didn't necessarily give him room to, show himself. I think that this is a Bottas thing. I understand what you mean in terms of, there were rules, for drivers before, don't do this, be this way, be a certain way, and I get it. I mean, I know what Lewis had to go through. But my point is, at this point, it's a Bottas thing. You can't. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on Bottas.
Hmm. Anyway, that's sorry, Butters, but at this point, man is I don't focus on why you are there, because me, your own personality is not why I'm there, but because if I'm watching other sport, I'm watching the sport because I enjoy the sport, not because I'm looking for this person's personality. Though some people, that's what they are after, fair to them, but as a fan of the sport, I'm all about your performance. Are you performing? Do you understand? If you're not performing, yeah, let's dissect why you're not performing. Okay, let's have a read one, please. Thank you. Read one. Thank you for waiting.
So, good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Read one. Good evening. Welcome. I've not had you this season, Abby.
It seems so. It seems so. It seems so.
Hallelujah.
So, like, I'll just have to go back to what everyone has been saying. I was just there, like, I'm just able to resolve this Twitter issue that I'm having to my phone. So, I think I've been able to resolve it. So, first of all, I think this, for me personally, this sprint format, I kind of like it because it makes it more competitive for all the teams. Like I know that people want like the team to be able to like free practice all this stuff. Like even when they said there will be changes to this sprint format, I said that maybe for only the practice should be an hour and 30 minutes. But when I read that all the teams agreed to an hour, so there's nothing I can say about that. But you want free practice, a qualifying, a sprint shootout, sprint race. I think it makes the team more competitive, and it's even just during 6 races during the years, not every races. So I feel like I kind of like it, but with today's, maybe it's because my team is doing well. Maybe that's why. Maybe if my team is not doing well, I might not like it. But right now, I kind of like it, and every day is action and no people like I watch free practice also, but I just feel like it makes or the other teams to be more competitive. Even Red Bull doesn't get their self together on the split weekend, so I don't know, but I like, but even with the views of others, also I kind of get what everyone is saying. And also, admin, you said something about like about Checo slap. I just don't know what happened with his slap. I think the second sector he lost a bit of time there. Like I don't know what happened. Like to me, I even thought maybe he would be on. I think he would be on pole. If he, maybe I think something I don't know what exactly happened between the two Red Bulls, between Max and Checo. So because Checo had the fastest first sector, I think 35.1 or something like that. But the second sector was just bad. Both Max and Checo was not that bad, but not up to Leclerc. So, but credit to Leclerc, that's his game. Like one lap pace, I give it to him. Like he's very good at that. So he did well. I wasn't expecting the Ferrari to be that quick this weekend. To be honest, I wasn't expecting them to be that quick. I thought the Mercedes would be much quicker than them because Ferrari, I don't know what's going on with them. So, but I think they did well today. But even without, I don't think there was not that much upgrades. It just tracks specific for them. So, but it's what we have for now. So I think Ferrari they will be there tomorrow on Sunday, and let's see. But Red Bull is just Red Bull. They are flying until the penalty kicks in. We will know what will eat Red Bull. So let's see what will happen. But for Aston Martin, just bad luck and I think DRS issues. So I think that's what that like they were so close to. I think P4 or P5 something like that, but they had DRS issue. Mercedes, I don't know what's going on with Mercedes. Like McLaren is faster than. Are you going to say McLaren is faster than Mercedes? Aston Martin, fine. Aston Martin is even fast. Like today, Aston Martin is quite faster than Mercedes today. Like I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them, but with this James Allison coming back, let's see what they will do. Sure. So I hope they can they will be able to do something good. Yeah. So I want maybe a four-way fight or a three-way fight in the front, not just between the two Red Bulls only. So like let it be more competitive. And also Alpine. My man Otma, my man cooked during the break. My man said we will take the fight to Mercedes. Like I was like, man, you guys were literally you guys literally said during your what's the name called? When you guys are launched your car that you just want to be fourth and maybe you just move closer to the top three. But right now you guys are aiming for second. Is it because Aston Martin did something that was great or something like that? To the end of the season, everyone that is cooking right now, we shall see to the end of the season. And right now, yeah, I used to say it. That's Renault engine. At least it tried this season, Sha, that it was able to last like 3 races. Just the second, how many 4 races now? Engine don't pack. So you can see now Ocon, Gasly. I just don't understand what's going on with him. I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's the pressure because this is not a Red Bull car again. Because people blame the Red Bull car then when it was at Red Bull that yes the car something like that. This our opinion now you are qualifying 18th on the grid. That's not great at all. So for our opinion, they need to get themselves together also. And for my second team, I can see Yuki. I think the guy is doing well. For Nick DeVries, I don't know what to say about him till summer break because I'm very very sure that guy will be under pressure after summer break. This if it does not come up with something good or like something great, he will be under pressure because right now there's this Liam Lawson doing well at Super Formula. There's Wasa at what's his name at F2, and Elmot that man it doesn't take if you are not good to him if you are not good you are out. If you are not doing well you are out. So maybe you just have grace, but Nick De Vries, I just maybe it's after summer break, Sha, so I'm not like he has not even shown a particular like. Let me just prove these guys wrong. I'm an F2 champion. I'm a Formula E champion. Let's see. See Yuki now. Yuki is putting that car eight on the grid. You are here beating your car, man. That's unfair. Maybe it's because of the was maybe I think maybe this is I'm not sure. Maybe this is first time at Baku or something like that. But no, man, you just have to take it gently and do it well. And for McLaren, I think their upgrade is working. I think what they cooked for us during the launch, they said that we should just accept this launch car that when the upgrade comes, it will be better. I think the car is now good now. I think Piastri is also doing well. Norris also is doing well. And for the Williams, I think so. The thing is just that everyone, I think everyone is kind of catching up. Everyone is catching up. There's no everyone is catching up. The midfield is quite stacked. So, but for us, Kevin Magnussen, my man, I think that guy should be on fraud watch. That guy should be on proper fraud watch because I don't know what is going on this season at all. This is just not like last season at all. I don't even know what's going on with him. So, but that guy, anyhow, for him. And I think you guys talk about the cost cap. For me, personally, I think it's the cost cap that is working for the teams to be able to close the gap to themselves because if there's no cost cap, Red Bull might be 2 seconds faster than the midfield team because right now Red Bull they aced the regulation and them now still pouring almost like 600 million on that car only. You know how quite fast that they'll be very fast with upgrades, everything. I think that is actually like the small teams are able to bring upgrades to the car, while these big teams are able to like, yes, if you bring upgrade today, not every time like that. So I think the cost cap is the one, the and also the what's the name? The regulation also. People are saying like for me, I just feel like the regulation is kind of not that working like last season. but I wish to see tracks whereby overtaking is not that possible. Somewhere like Hungary, we will see whether the regulation is still working or not working. So at least for Valtteri, as I said it before we went for like this break. For Valtteri, I just feel like the guy needs to up his game. He can't be doing what he's doing at all. If Joe is decking him or even matching Bottas in qualifying, that we know that's Bottas like where he does well, Like what exactly is going on? I don't know. And he's talking about personality. I don't know Bottas' personality. Maybe he wants to start. I mean, as Admin has said that we should. Maybe he wants to be an influencer. So I don't know for him, Sha. That is for me for now.
Ridwan, I want to
Thank
say
you.
small. We are qualified the Aston Martin and the McLaren. Small.
Okay. No, now, but
Just be cooking
don't let me
small. Yes,
say.
small.
I don't want to say because we all knew why that happened.
Why did it
So
happen? How did
it's
they use to
because they,
qualify them?
it's because they, it's because they had no DRS. So
Small. All four cars. Small. Sha. I'm just saying. I know they fixed Alonso's DRS. I watched all, but small. Eh? Okay.
but I think none of them had DRS at all in
They
Q3.
fixed
So
Alonso's
I'm
DRS.
not sure.
Stroll had DRS issues at the end. They fixed Alonso's DRS before Q3. I'm not sure about the DRS issue with Lando and Oscar, but take it easy, eh? That's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
Hold
I'm so
on,
sorry
thank
to interrupt.
you
You
very
want
much.
to say
Okay, guys.
something to Baku? No, admin sent out a tweet 2 days ago that said, despite a poor start, De Vries is determined to make a mark in Azerbaijan, drawing confidence from finishing second in 3 F2 races and his familiarity with the track. So he's familiar with. In fact, he knows that corner. He's been there so many times. So that's not an excuse for him. So you said to Silverstone. So we are waiting to get there. Then we can report him to EFCC, FBI, MI6, CIA. We can report him to all the government agencies so they can go after him. Thank you.
But the thing is that even
He needs to stop talking. Every time he talks, he just puts his foot in his mouth.
but to be honest, I won't like even our poll sitter today has also binned it at Baku before. So I still give Nick the free till summer break.
Okay, I'm giving him some break champion, double champion. It's just to show you that I always tell people that sometimes there are different categories to things. There's your level, and there's a level that is above you. Hopefully Nick DeVries is not currently in the level above him. You understand? Because at the end of the day, you will just go back to where you are coming from. Either you go back and sit behind Mick, because now you will not sit down beside Mick, you will sit down behind him if you are going back to Mercedes. So, or you go back to Formula E, or you retire and be pundit. After all, it's good in talking. So yeah. Okay. No problem. Does anyone want to add anything again in terms of teams, drivers, what the expectation for tomorrow? It's quite I was just going to quickly add that. So now tomorrow, I think if I'm not mistaken, each for the sprint shootouts, each driver has one shot to go for. Is it one shot or so to go for qualifying or two? Let me not get it wrong. But what I find interesting is that now many drivers will just get into the car and start pushing. Which at the end of the day, those that will show their true quality, we will see. Those that will be in it, we will see. Because now, usually we're used to seeing, oh, okay, a bit of a free practice, and then they just go and put in the lab. So we'll know the people that sleep are really in their eye when they come and enter the car. So yeah. That's on that. So yeah, does anyone want to add anything quickly again just before we end the space? If you want to
Me.
okay, go ahead.
Do you know what? F2 was actually really exciting today as well. There was bidding cars left, right, and center as well. So if you've got time, just before the F1 action, F2 action is actually quite interesting. And they've had like 6 different winners across the board. Like nobody's won twice. So it's very interesting. Very exciting. And of course, there's a Bayesian guy in there. So that's the only reason I'm watching. But having said that, it's been actually really good. So yeah.
Okay. I haven't really watched F2 this season as time will not permit for me. But okay. I'm trying to see if Adebayo, I don't know. Okay. I guess we've touched on almost everything. Okay. Just because before we have Adebayo, Science, Leclerc, Verstappen. Okay, we've touched on everyone. Okay, probably okay. Maybe Stroll, but obviously the Stroll is just that guy. No worries, no issues. When he wants to break his hand, he breaks his hand. And we move on. But yeah, okay. Oh, Adebayo has gone down again. Oops, I think it's network. But okay. Adebayo, do you want to go ahead? Adebayo, do you want to go ahead, please? Okay. Okay, Daniela.
I think for tomorrow, obviously we have the sprint shootout and then the sprint race directly after. So it's really, I think, really interesting because what happens? So if you crash, then you don't take part in the sprint race. That's very interesting. And then, so I guess they are fixing your car for the next race. So I'm interested to see how this format works. Um, I don't necessarily agree with it for the practice reasons, but I'm interested to see how it works. I fully have expectations of hopefully Lewis progressing forward. George also coming through the pack. It'll be interesting to see who drops. It will give us a good indication of what the start might look like. For Sunday. So yeah, I'm not going to write it off completely. I just want to see if it accomplishes what they wanted to accomplish. And yeah, obviously the spring race is a good chance for, obviously it doesn't better their chances for the next race, so it's just a good chance for them to get points, for the teams that didn't do well. I can understand this format actually now that I'm thinking about it. For the teams that didn't do well in the quali, they can at least, if they can get within the first based on what's happening, then it means that they can after the shootout, because who has a bad lap is one setup thing, it's one run. It might be an interesting order. And just, I don't know if this is how this is going to go ahead, they're going to do like a and the sprint race, then all the one series, reverse grade, can be using the sprint race to do that entertainment. Just going to, and it doesn't, obviously there's points up. Maybe this is where if they want to really do entertainment, they can look at all the conspiracy, all the fan suggestion, then at different tracks they change the format. But I'm not sure how the drivers react to that. I definitely think it would be interesting to try reverse sprint format to see what the outcome would be. Maybe it's not a good idea, but that's my thought.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Personally, I don't. Okay, imagine now someone decides he wants to qualify purposely pit Sony. You understand, and then just pulls in a very shabby lap. Even though reverse, that's not the point of reverse grid. But I feel what I feel basically is at the end of the cars are not that similar to F2 in terms of performance. So it's not necessarily. Yes, you might have someone like, will I say, a Max blazing through the field with a reverse grid, but will I say, I don't know how that's going to work for Formula One with different cars and their different levels of performance and upgrades as compared to the junior series where they are all similar. But yeah, that's just my take on that. Okay, read one.
Like one of the things that I still like about the sprint races is that it doesn't affect the race, the Sunday's race, the Grand Prix, the old Grand Prix, because even most drivers won't like most drivers won't really care about the sprint. They will just be careful about what will happen in the sprint. Like even like fine, Brazil 2021, Lewis was able to come from the back of the grid to the front. What about there are some drivers whereby I'm not saying like there are some drivers whereby during maybe on the first lap of the sprint, maybe the car had problem, something like that, and the start of the race they'll start P20. So I just like that stuff. Like the sprint results won't affect the Grand Prix, like how the formation for the Grand Prix. So like that's one of the things I still like about it. And tomorrow we'll see because tomorrow we will be quite tricky for most teams because I don't think teams were able to get more like these race runs like that. So it's be quite tricky for most teams. I just hope it doesn't affect Red Bull because if it does, it messes them up. I can't forget Brazil last year. So yeah, so let's wait and see. Tomorrow should be interesting on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Ridwan. I think I don't think any team did race runs today because I'm sure everyone was trying to just get the best setup. So I'm not sure anyone did race runs today. But I think for Red Bull this weekend, I believe they got it right. With the limited time available because hopefully Ferrari got it as well. Because it's not just the quality pace. But I don't know, we didn't even speak about Carlos Sainz. I wonder why yeah, I know he struggled with grip and here and there, but I wondered why he was where did he even finish again? If I'm not mistaken, P4 or so. And then he was more than almost a second. Sorry. Okay, yeah, almost a second off the pace, you know, which was yeah, about 9 tenths or so, or 8 tenths, which is quite a lot to his teammates. So I don't know. The whole qualifying, at Q1, Q2, Q3, I think he just put in one good lap. The rest were just here and there, bit of issues all around. Ridwan, do you want to go ahead?
Yes. So the thing is that we have our reasons. Our reason is that we were not able to get the tires to the right working window, so that's what happened. And at least we were able to get P4. So tomorrow we race from there. Or on Sunday we race from there. We'll see what will happen. And Adibayo that's laughing. It's not like do let me talk sha. But that's what happened.
Riddle, how many teams do you support? This is the third one.
No, no.
You said our. You said you have our reasons. Or is this Jabs or Adebayo?
Yes, I knew because I know he's already laughing now. Because we have a deal, sha, but it's because of the tires were not in the right window. That's what happened. Thank you.
So it's only his dad that was not in the right window. Okay,
And the setup also.
no problem. Okay. Adebayo, please go ahead. Adebayo. Adebayo, let me assume that you cannot unmute yourself. Um, you're probably having some issues. But yeah, okay, guys. I think that's it for the evening. So we're back again. When is okay? The sprint is 2 in the afternoon. So we'll be back again. Well, I say early evening, obviously after the sprint, if there are no red flags, because red flags waste our time. But yeah, obviously I believe there'll be 1 or 2 red flags at least. One front runner, one midfield team. That's just my prediction for the sprints that would DNF. But I think it might be one of the Ferrari drivers. That's just my opinion. Hopefully Nick is in the simulator as we are speaking. Putting in the work. Because you should know what he tried in qualifying today. You should not go and try tomorrow morning that there's no time to go around the track. Is wake up, enter the car, and straight to push. As I said, this is where we know the people that is in their blood. They don't need to warm up before they collect G-force. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully it's a fun one. And yeah, wish everyone a good evening and catch you guys tomorrow and God bless you all. Thank you.